In 2025, Smriti Mandhana scored 1,362 runs in one-day internationals, the highest total ever made by a woman in a single ODI year. It was one of the finest seasons women's cricket has seen. But even a year like that shows how difficult it would be to catch Mithali Raj. To pass Mithali's 7,805 runs, somebody would have to repeat Mandhana's record a year almost 6 times. Women's cricket is stronger and more professional than it was 20 years ago. But records like these still require one thing the player cannot control: enough matches. Today's leading players have T20 internationals, franchisee leagues, ICC tournaments, and increasingly crowded schedules. They may play plenty of cricket during a year without playing many ODIs. Test matches are even harder to find. Mithali Raj first played for India in 1999 and retired in 2022. Her international career lasted 23 years. Women's cricket changed almost completely during that period. Mithali began in a game with limited money, limited coverage, and very few full-time professionals. By the end of her career, India's biggest matches were drawing large television audiences and the best players were becoming major sporting names. Yet Mithali remained at the center of India's batting for most of that period. She played under different captains and coaches, faced several generations of bowlers, and kept her place while the standards around her continued to rise. There were difficult tours, poor scores, and long gaps between major events, but she continued scoring runs. By the time she retired, she had made 7,805 of them in ODIs. When a country plays only a limited number of ODIs each year, one injury can cost a batter an entire series. If 2 ODI tours are replaced by T20 cricket, another year passes with barely any movement towards the record. Mithali's run total is tied closely to another record: 232 ODI appearances. A player can improve her fitness, work on her technique, and change the way she bats. But she cannot decide how many ODIs her country will arrange over the next 15 years. Even a cricketer who remains at international level for a long time may be rested regularly. Today's players have to divide their time between international formats and franchisee competitions. Older players may stop playing one format to extend their careers in another. Reaching 232 matches would require a player to debut young, stay fit, avoid long periods out of the team, and continue playing ODIs well into her 30s. Her country would also have to schedule enough games throughout that period. Someone may eventually pass her run total. Reaching 232 appearances could be harder, because even a long career is not enough when the matches are missing from the calendar. Jhulan Goswami's 255 wickets are difficult to challenge for another reason. Fast bowlers rarely remain at international level for 20 years. Jhulan finished with 255 ODI wickets. No other woman has even crossed 200. Reaching 255 is difficult for any bowler, especially a fast bowler whose body absorbs the strain of every spell. She made her international debut in 2002 and played her final match in 2022. Across that period, she remained one of India's main ODI bowlers rather than becoming an occasional senior player near the end of her career. Modern teams are much more willing to rest fast bowlers. A player may miss a bilateral series so that she is fresh for a World Cup or a major T20 league. Resting a fast bowler may protect her career, but it also means fewer chances to take ODI wickets. Jhulan had the skill to take wickets and the durability to keep doing it for 2 decades. That combination is extremely rare. Mithali and Jhulan had more than 20 years to build their ODI records. Most women playing today will never receive anything close to that kind of test career. Brittin scored 1,935 test runs for England between 1979 and 1998. She appeared in 27 matches and batted 44 times. In men's test cricket, 44 innings can pass quickly. A regular player may reach that number within 3 or 4 years. For many women, it could take an entire career. A batter can train specifically for the longer format. She can develop the patience to leave balls outside off stump, defend for long periods, and adjust when a pitch begins to wear. Then she may spend the next year without playing a test. Several modern batters are capable of reaching 1,935 runs. Whether they will receive enough test innings is another matter. A player could average 50 and still fall short simply because her country gave her 10 or 12 tests. Mary Duggan played 17 tests for England and took 77 wickets. The record has stood since 1963. Duggan's bowling figures were remarkable. She conceded fewer than 14 runs for every wicket she took and collected 5 wickets in an innings on 5 occasions. Many of the best bowlers playing today may never appear in 17 tests. Sophie Ecclestone, one of the leading spinners of her generation, had played only 9 tests in the 8 years after her debut. Test bowling takes time to learn. Batters are not always trying to score quickly, so a bowler has to work through long spells, make small changes, and sometimes wait an hour for a plan to produce a wicket. It is difficult for a bowler to develop that experience when test matches appear only once every year or two. Duggan's 77 wickets remain a remarkable achievement. There may already be bowlers good enough to challenge it, but one test every year or two gives them almost no chance. Kiran Baluch's record is different because a batter does not need a long career to pass it. One innings of 243 would be enough. Baluch played only 3 tests for Pakistan. In 2004, against West Indies, she scored 242, which remains the highest individual score in women's test cricket. There are modern batters capable of passing 242. Women's test cricket has already seen several double centuries. Reaching that score still requires the right conditions. The pitch must remain good enough for batting. The player needs support from the other end. Her team must have enough time available, and the captain must be willing to continue rather than declare. She then has to bat for hours without giving the opposition one opening. In men's test cricket, a leading batter might receive 10 or more chances in a year to produce a score like that. A woman could wait several years for one test, then find herself batting on a difficult surface or in a match where quick runs are needed. Baluch's 242 may fall in the next major test, or the shortage of matches may protect it for another generation. None of these records is completely safe. The modern game already has batters and bowlers capable of challenging them. But ability is only part of the chase. Mithali Raj and Jhulan Goswami spent more than 20 years in international cricket. Brittin and Mary Duggan played more tests than many leading cricketers are likely to receive today. Even Kiran Baluch's 242, a record that can be broken in one afternoon, depends on a test match appearing at the right moment. That is the strange position women's cricket finds itself in. The players are improving, the audiences are growing, and the sport is more professional than ever. Yet the formats needed to challenge these records are not always being played often enough. So these numbers may remain in the record books for years, not because nobody is good enough to pass them, but because some careers may end before the opportunity ever arrives.